this week, I asked a question that has stayed with me for most of my career. If lean manufacturing, the Toyota production system, Six Sigma, and continuous improvement have been available to American manufacturers for decades, why have so few organizations truly achieved the transformational results those systems promise? I've spent more than 20 years working across aerospace, defense, automotive, electronics, battery manufacturing, fabrication, and advanced manufacturing. I've seen incredible companies, brilliant engineers, committed operators, and leaders who genuinely wanted to do the right thing. And yet, I keep seeing the same pattern. The tools would arrive, people would go to the training, everyone would be excited, and then little by little, the organization would drift back towards firefighting. For years, I thought the missing piece had to be another tool, another methodology, another training program. Now, I think the answer is much simpler. I don't think we've been asking the right question because I don't believe the challenge is lean. I think the challenge is culture. And I'd like to explain what I mean with something that has nothing to do with manufacturing, a cup of tea. One of the most fascinating traditions in Japan is the tea ceremony. If you've never watched one, it's worth taking a few minutes. At first glance, it seems almost unbelievably slow. Every movement is deliberate. Every gesture has intention. The bowl is turned carefully. The whisk moves with precision. The tea is presented with respect. Nothing is hurried. Nothing is wasted. There's no accidental movement. To someone unfamiliar with this, it can almost seem excessive. But that's the beauty of it. The ceremony isn't really about tea. It's about the discipline, respect, mindfulness, presence. It's about believing that even the smallest actions deserve care and purpose. When I first watched one, I couldn't stop thinking about manufacturing. Because those same values, consistency, intentionality, eliminating unnecessary motion, are woven throughout the philosophy behind the Toyota production system. They're not just factory techniques, they're reflections of culture. Now think about the stories many of us grew up with in America. They're different. We grow up hearing about the American dream. We celebrate the entrepreneur who starts with nothing and builds an empire. The inventor working late into the night, the pioneer heading west into the unknown. The firefighter who runs towards the danger, the soldier who protects others. The engineer who somehow gets the production line running again at 2 o'clock in the morning. Our heroes aren't remembered because life was easy. They're remembered because they overcame impossible odds. That spirit built America. It fueled innovation. It put people on the moon. It created industries that changed the world, and I wouldn't trade that spirit for anything. So when people compare Japanese manufacturing with American manufacturing, I think we sometimes ask the wrong question. We ask, which one is better? I don't think that's the right question at all. I think the better question is, what was each culture optimized to become? Japan developed management systems that became exceptionally good at precision, consistency, and preventing problems before they occurred. America developed a culture that became exceptionally good at innovation, resilience, and solving difficult problems when they did occur. Those are both extraordinary strengths. The mistake is assuming the same leadership system will naturally produce the same results in two very different cultures. For decades, American manufacturers have invested billions of dollars in lean training. We've learned Kanban, 5S, Kaizen, value stream mapping, a personal favorite of mine. standard work, those tools absolutely work. The evidence is overwhelming. But tools never exist in a vacuum. They exist inside culture. And culture determines what gets celebrated. Think about that for a moment. Every culture, whether it's a nation, a company, or even a family, gets more of whatever it celebrates. If prevention is celebrated, people devote themselves to preventing problems. If rescuing the day is celebrated, people become extraordinary firefighters. Neither outcome is accidental. Leadership creates the environment that tells people what matters most. This is why I spend so much time talking about heroics. Not because I dislike heroes, quite the opposite. I think heroism is one of America's greatest strengths. When disaster strikes, Americans don't wait. We act, we innovate, we adapt, we overcome. That's something to be proud of. But somewhere along the way, many manufacturing organizations unintentionally built systems that depend on heroics every single day. The engineer who saves production, the supervisor who stays until midnight, the operator who somehow keeps everything moving. The maintenance tech who performs miracles, those people deserve respect. But if your organization needs miracles every day just to hit the schedule, you've built dependence on heroics instead of resilience. Eventually, every hero gets tired. Eventually, they burn out, and eventually they leave. That's why I created what I call the Holy Grail method. Not because Lean is broken, or Six Sigma has failed, or continuous improvement doesn't work. Quite the opposite. I believe those tools have never reached their full potential in American organizations because they're trying to grow in soil that isn't fully prepared. Leadership prepares the soil. Culture determines what grows. When leadership creates trust, alignment, psychological safety, shared purpose, and clear communication, those tools suddenly have room to flourish. That's what I mean by radical alignment. It's not replacing Lean. It's creating the leadership environment where Lean can finally become everything it was meant to be. And I think we're living through the perfect moment for that conversation. People are looking for something more than a paycheck. They want meaningful work. They want stability. They want to be part of something they believe in. Communities want manufacturing jobs that support families for generations. Companies want to compete globally. Leaders want organizations that can grow without burning out their people. Those aren't competing goals. They're the same goal. So imagine an American manufacturing industry that combines the very best of both worlds. We keep our courage, innovation, and our willingness to tackle impossible problems. But we also learn to celebrate prevention just as much as rescue. We build systems that don't require daily miracles. We create cultures where winning teams matter more than individual heroes, where trust flows as freely as information, where people spend their careers building something they're proud of. That, to me, is the next American manufacturing renaissance. Not becoming Japan, not abandoning who we are, becoming the strongest version of ourselves. Because America's great competitive advantage has never been our machines. It's always been our people. Leadership simply determines whether those people spend their energy fighting today's emergencies or building tomorrow's prosperity. If you believe America can lead the world in manufacturing again, join me. Join the movement.